good morning. Thank you very much for coming through.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, just firstly, I mean, is there something like a top question that people are now busy with currently in the last couple of days before tomorrow?
It's Elections Day, public holiday is the top question that people have asked.
They want to know if it's a public holiday?
I think mostly because they want to know if they have to go to work after voting or if they have to go to work and figure out how to work life and voting, you know. So.
Or they want to figure out whether they're going to braai or not tomorrow. South Africans just to have
They want to know if they should, you know, start celebrating or...
So that's the topmost on mind, is election in a public holiday. What other questions are they asking?
So questions that I found quite fascinating, and obviously because a lot of Bonfries are voting this year, is things like who's going to win, and they've also asked questions of what is democracy, which I found very interesting because for South Africans to ask that question, it means we're not quite sure if we are in a democracy as a country, but also they want to know how many elections have we had since 1994, and when was the very first democratic election in South Africa. So there's a lot of interesting curiosity focusing on that democracy.
I noticed that one of the questions that in the top 5 questions concerns the EFF. Interesting. The only political party that people are asking about in the top 5.
Yeah, so in the top 5, there's a question that says, will EFF win the 2019 elections, which is very, very interesting. And then you go down top 10, another question says, will the ANC win the 2019 election? So that also fits in with some of the other trends we've seen in terms of parties. So the top 3 political parties search for are the ANC, EFF, and the DA, as well as their candidates. Yeah. So a lot of also some of the questions people are asking are filtered into political parties that people are also searching.
Yeah. Are there any questions about the voting itself, the process itself?
Yeah, so there's people who are asking if they can still register to vote, which I feel from last week is a bit too late to ask that question because it is all done. The IEC will very much tell you that is over. And also people also want to know where to go vote.
Okay.
Yeah, because they want to know where their voting station is, and I think there's a fantastic app that the IEC has created to actually help people figure that out.
We actually, my family and I actually used it at the weekend on Sunday.
Yeah,
you just SMS, it's about R1 an SMS, you put your ID number, and as you click send, you get the response back. It tells you immediately that app where you're registered and gives your ID number.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that so questions like that is quite great because you know people they want to go vote, so they want to know where. And when they ask Google a question like that, it will take them straight to the IEC website to get more information.
Do anybody ask about what kind of an election is it? Because I mean, we're voting for at the national level and we're voting at the provincial level, and there's like 2 ballot papers. Anybody want to know those kind of things?
So a few weeks ago we had a question about the kind of election it is. Now there's been a question on how many ballot papers there are. So I'm not quite sure they mean the total of ballot papers that will be available for the public, or if there are 2 separate, which there will be 2 separate because
when you're voting.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you step back and you look at this, those are the top questions. But let's look at the parties themselves, building up to from last week. Which political party? I mean, we've got 48. I mean, I was looking at the list of the parties. Some of the names I haven't heard of before, but they are on they've been registered and they will be on the ballot paper. Any political party that have featured, which ones are people sort of searching more about?
So, I mean, the top 3 are still in the top 3.
So that's the ANC, GA, and the EFF.
And the EFF. Okay. But we also seen the Black Land First guys come up. The Good Party is coming up.
Patricia de Lille's new party.
Patricia's new party. It's just actually she's been consistently showing up in the top 10, which means there's a lot of interest in what she's doing and following her departure from the ANC and from the DA. And then also I think the Africa Transformation Movement is also on the ATM.
Okay.
Yes, I keep remembering it as ATM. Okay. So they're on, and even their leader is on the top candidates list as well. Or the top 10 candidates search. So a lot of
and talk about candidates. I mean, okay, these elections, because we are in a proportional electoral system in South Africa, you don't vote for an individual, you vote for a party.
Absolutely.
But we know there are these faces because all parties, the big parties, on their posters, they put faces.
Absolutely.
Which kind of personalities around parties have people been searching?
So when I look at, actually I did this yesterday afternoon, I was looking at the queries people were actually typing in with regard to a specific person, and I put in Julius Malema, and the queries people were typing was Julius Malema and Papa Penny, and I found that, so there's a...
there was a recent...
Yeah, apparently there was a thing between them. And you also find that there's often people searching for all of them at the same time. So when you look at what people are looking at with regard to, say, Cyril you will find that Julius will show up, Musi will show up, and they'll ask questions about things like manifestos, like what is the EFF manifesto, or what are they campaigning on, things like that. But mostly it does fit around their personalities and the people around them.
Now, is there something like, can you work out from your stats, or when you look at which areas are actually searching more about elections in South Africa? Can you make it geographical?
Yeah, so geographically, we've definitely seen a lot from provincial point of view. There's a lot of interest from Gauteng, obviously.
Okay.
So Gauteng, you've got Western Cape. The Northern Cape climbed up a bit this week. And then if you look at cities, there's been Durban North.
Durban North.
Very, very interested in what's going on with the elections. Yeah,
it's very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it. Some of the insights of what you've been finding. It's going to be interesting. I'm just thinking now. We'll speak to our producers after the elections. Because the inauguration of the new president is going to be on the 25th of May.
Yes.
We need to be checking the trends there. What will people be interested in afterwards, and then maybe we'll catch up with you.
Absolutely. We'll pull the data again on Thursday after the elections day and see what differences we see.
No, Mitch, thank you very much. Well, the biggest question leading up to tomorrow that people have been asking South Africans via Google searching for is election day a public holiday? But of course, there are many other questions, partner.